Josh Schmutzler with Brain Trust Digital. Today I'm going to walk you through a couple of the new features found in Audition Creative Cloud version. A lot of you have probably updated, some of you are still on the fence, so I'm going to show you a couple of the new things that you have to look forward to when you decide to upgrade. The first one I want to show you is called Sound Remover. If you've ever used some sort of noise removing tool in any other app, you'll find that it's similar but distinct in a small way. I have a track here that I recorded straight from a vinyl record through a USB turntable, and you can see that there's a little bit of low hum right here. It's not very perceptible probably listening to this online, but there is a distinct hum if you listen to it on a good set of headphones or speakers, and I'll play a little bit of it for you just so you can hopefully get a sense of what it sounds like.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea. Way, hey, blow the man down.
All right, so you may have been able to hear that hum, maybe you couldn't, but it is there, and you can see it very easily right down here in the bottom of this frequency spectrum. Now, how are we going to get rid of that? You could choose to select it and set a noise print and then get rid of it, but Audition has a slightly different way of doing that with their sound remover tool. First of all, I'm going to choose the paintbrush tool, which is up here. The shortcut is P on the keyboard. And then I'm just going to paint over that frequency. And if you don't do it quite right with the paintbrush, if you're a little loose with it, don't worry about it. You can adjust it very easily with these corner guides, top and bottom. You can raise it, lower it. So I'm going to look at it. I can see it stops right around there. And we don't want to take out too much for fear of losing some of that low end. So we'll just leave it right there and see what it does. Go under Effects, Noise Reduction / Restoration, Learn Sound Model. Now the beauty of this tool is I can choose not only this area right here that I've already chosen, but I can look other places in the track where there's silence, and if I can find just that hum, or even where there's not silence, even if it's in the bottom end down here, I could select some of this bottom end here in other places, and it will combine all of that to figure out exactly what I'm trying to get rid of. And of course, all of it's adjustable. You can change the size of your selection and modify it throughout. After it's learned that, you then want to select the area you want to remove it from. In this case, just for sake of time, I'm only going to select a short time. Start right here, go to the beginning, and then go back under Effects, same place you were before, and go to the Sound Remover tool. And as soon as you click on that, it's going to open the comparison view down here, previewing your effect, and it's going to start rendering it in real time. While you're waiting on that, you can look through some of the presets. You can start adjusting it to best match your file. And there's some presets here you can choose from, but you can also just tweak it to your heart's content down here. So let's see what that sounds like before I officially render it.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea.
Okay, so that's the affected portion. I'm going to keep playing it so you can hear what the original sounded like.
Way, hey, blow the man down.
So we did lose some of that bottom end, but it did crispen it up just a little bit. Got rid of a little bit of that record crackle that's on there, which some people would say is a travesty. But let's just say, for sake of argument, that I don't want it in there. So let's go ahead and apply that effect. And once it's finished rendering, I'm going to go back to the beginning, get rid of my selection, and listen to it one more time just to get a comparison.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea. Way, hey, blow the man down.
So we really didn't lose much of that bottom end, but it was just enough to bug me. So I'm going to select that area again that I took the bass out of, and just simply go to Effects, give me a little 10-band EQ. There's already a little preset called Simple Bass Lift, and I may bump it up just a little more because I want to make sure it's a nice full sounding track, and let's see what that sounds like.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea.
And keep going to compare to the original.
Way, hey, blow the man down.
So we've successfully clarified the audio just a little bit. We restored that bottom end without reintroducing that hum. So that's the sound remover tool. Once you've applied all the effects that you want to from that sound remover, let's just say that you decide you want to broadcast Blow the Man Down on CNN next week. Now, CNN being a broadcaster, they have regulations now for the maximum volume that they can broadcast at. And you have to make sure that your file that you provide for them is going to meet those requirements. Audition now has a tool specifically designed for those people. It's again under Effects, Special, and you'll find the Loudness Radar meter. And it is pretty much what it sounds like. It gives you a radar, and you have presets for the different standards. And we'll just choose one at random for now. And let's see what it does here.
I'll sing you a song, a good song of the sea. Way, hey, blow the man down.
So it gives you a different visual decibel meter showing you all the way up to your peak, and it shows you if you're going to hit that limit there that you're supposed to meet under this criteria. If you choose a different preset, like this one, you can see it adjusted not only my range, but it also adjusted that form that's been shaping right there. Another thing you can do is change the increment of time that this covers. If you want one revolution to be 1 minute, just change the speed there, and you can see it's already moved, and we'll keep playing.
And trust that you'll join in the chorus with me. Give me some time to blow the man down.
And you can see it's moving much faster to take that full revolution in only a minute. Anything you adjust here will change in real time. Any of these settings will change the visualization here on this little radar meter. So that's the Loudness Radar tool available in Adobe Audition Creative Cloud. I've opened another project with files provided by Adobe for this demo. This is something you might find useful, especially if you're doing something that's scripted or some sort of recording that there's not expected to be mistakes in the dialogue. ADR, or additional dialogue recording, is something that you're probably familiar with. Some people refer to the acronym under different names, but I call it additional dialogue recording. Adobe has a tool that they introduced in the last version of the Creative Suite that carries over into Audition Creative Cloud. It's called Auto Speech Alignment. You can take a set of clips, one which was recorded and possibly has some bad noise, or perhaps the actor wasn't feeling well and their voice sounded a little different, and you can match it up to a later recorded version, a studio version, that you want to be lip synced to it. So I've got 2 tracks here. This is the original audio with the video, and you can tell it's varied wildly. There's 3 different scenes, one outside of Adobe offices in Seattle, one in a construction zone, and then the final one looks like it's outdoors, perhaps near a fountain or a public area. A lot of traffic and other noises in the background. And you can just look at the waveform and see the differences. The one outside of the office building is pretty clean. There's a little bit of noise here. The one in the construction area has a lot of ambient sound. And then the last one has kind of a in-between range there. There's some noise, but it's not quite as bad as the middle one. On the contrary, down here we have their studio version where they brought Duran in, and he recorded a clean version in their nice quiet studio so that they'd have a nice clean version of what he needed to say. So let's listen to the original just so you get an idea of what we're dealing with.
It's a great day here at the Adobe Seattle office in Fremont, and I want to tell you about ADR workflows with Adobe Audition. ADR can just be a fact point when you're shooting on location. The new Align Speech tools in Adobe Audition CS6 really take a lot of the hassle out of ADR.
So there's a lot to deal with these audio tracks. So all you have to do is select 1 and 2 that match, and you can see they recorded just the audio needed for each one of these clips individually. So all you've got to do is get these 2 clips selected, and you've got the same words in each. Right-click on either one of them and go down to Automatic Speech Alignment. You're going to choose the reference clip, which is the clip it's going to look at to find out where the words and syllables should go. In this case, it's going to be the top one, that MVI file. And you're going to choose also a channel. The stereo could be used in a variety of ways, but in this case, it looks like they had an on-camera stereo mic, so it really doesn't matter which channel we choose. They look like they're about the same. you'd normally want to try to choose the cleaner one so it has an easier time of reading it. But we'll just leave it off. Their studio recording, of course, is in mono, so there's no selection for the channel there. There's 3 different settings that you can choose for how it aligns. Each one of them may have different results depending on what quality your audio is. For now, I'm just going to choose kind of the middle of the road, safe one, and leave it at that. Click OK. It's going to analyze it and create a new track with just that synchronized audio. And we're going to solo that so we only hear the new audio, and let's see how close it got it.
It's a great day here at the Adobe Seattle office in Fremont, and I want to tell you about ADR workflows with Adobe Audition.
All right, so it started off with good intentions and kind of crashed and burned at the end there, but let's give it another chance. Let's choose the next 2 clips. Right click, automatic speech alignment. Again, choose our source. And again, the channel doesn't really matter because they're both pretty awful. This one's so bad, I'm going to choose reference clip as noisy, which I assume will help it filter that out a little bit better. And he's really hard to hear in this clip, so let's just see what it does. Again, it's going to align it and create a new track. There's our new one. And I can see already it's improved because these waveforms are now in about the same place. And this appears to be maybe a little off at the end, just visually looking at it. But let's see what it sounds like.
ADR can just be a fact of life when you're shooting on location.
That one was just about spot on. Might have been a little bit of the uncanny valley there, but it was really close. So let's give it one more shot on this last pair. Right click, auto speech alignment. It's already choosing the right track. Again, left and right are about the same, so we'll leave that. Let's leave this reference clip as noisy because I heard a diesel idling in the background. All right, new track is up. Let's solo it, back it up, and see what it sounds like.
The new aligned speech tools in Adobe Audition CS6 really takes a lot of the hassle out of ADR.
Wow, I have no idea what happened at the end there. It was right on till the very end. But anyway, you get the idea. Your mileage may vary on this. You have to try various settings. As I showed you, there are 3 different ways to allow it to automatically align. So one of these may have worked better for one of these over the other. It's all going to vary depending on your source audio, the quality of it, what kind of noise is in the background, and how consistent it is. A lot of the renders I did in this review were done in real time. Some of them I skipped just for sake of time, but for the most part, they were all done right in front of you on the screen. And I was also in the background recording in a separate application my audio and recording this screen capture in Camtasia, which was generously provided by TechSmith. So all of that was eating up some of the RAM, which is why I skipped ahead a few times and cut the video. But you'll notice right away that the processing of all the effects in real time is extremely fast and vastly improved over previous versions. So that's an overview of some of the newest and improved features in Adobe Audition Creative Cloud.